So here I am doing a video of an installation of Openflops floppy converter emulator onto these Compaq LTE drives. Now, the problem is that the Compaq LTEs all use the same Citizen W1D drive that always fails. I've documented my globalist installation review, but again, this is the Citizen W1D drive, and they always fail because there's a belt inside here that dies over time. You cannot replace these. The problem is because they are the thinnest and shortest floppy drive. It uses 26-pin cable. And so people have been trying to repair these for years until Nick Silvestri basically engineered a Openflops, which is a GoTech type of emulator for floppy disks. He has made open source, but I encourage you, unless you want to play around with soldering and parts, he's selling it at a very reasonable price. I don't get any sponsorship or kickbacks, but it will come pre-soldered, firmware loaded, and essentially ready to go. The only thing that I would do on top is maybe you see all these solder points. I would consider adding extra Kapton tape on there just to add an extra layer of protection. I have three of these machines. I have a 440CX, which is the slowest one. This is the fastest one, which is 475CXL with the biggest screen. And finally, I have the mid-range one, which is the 450CX. Now, these are all active matrix screens, so you're going to get good gaming ability of it. The only problem is that, again, these electronics are failing over time, and especially if those floppies are dying. I'm going to choose today to install the Openflops on my highest end model, and I am trying to thin out my collection, so I'll probably end up selling off one or two of the other ones. And we shall begin. As has been documented elsewhere, these devices have a built-in power supply and are fairly easy to disassemble. In fact, all disassembly spots with an arrow on it indicate that they are chassis based, and you need to disassemble those to take it apart. So they are running a Torx, I believe, or hex type of socket. So I'm going to get a screwdriver and take these apart. Before I begin, though, I do want to mention that the the Silvestri-based Openflops, when you buy it, will include a longer screw that's required to mount the Openflops to the motherboard. I'm gonna see if there's space for me to put this. This is a little plastic spacer, a perler bead, basically, so that it adds some spacing at the bottom. I'm not sure if it'll fit though, so I'll show you at the end. During this assembly, I will show you. Again, you do not need to take this apart, but there's your seated RAM connector. It is proprietary, so you cannot swap out with anything else. As comparison, this is a RAM for my Globalist 200S. And you can see it's different form factor. All these things were proprietary in this era. These were still the early days of laptops. It was just transitioning to the better grade systems. I will this is the floppy drive that I want to remove. So it looks like these are T9 screws. As opening up all the way, lifting upwards, and then wiggling forward at around 20 degrees. So you can pop it out. There you go. Nice. So thank you, Nick, for that assembly instructions, although I know that you're not the only one that's shown that. I will continue to assemble this keyboard, and here you go. 2 keyboard screws are out. We're going to flip this up. He did warn me about the cable there. And just like we're going to put something here to block it from sliding. Grab a flashlight. Beautiful. So now that's open, you can see that there's a nickel metal hydride battery here. Connectors are in the back, floppy drive, and then the hard drive kit. It's inside this case is a standard IDE, but unfortunately the case itself is proprietary connector in the back here. Now, Nick demonstrated the removal of this. So let's see. Oh, I guess this just keeps keeper from pressing down on it. Only proprietary, it's frail. Now, luckily, Silvestri has made a replacement available, so if it's broken, he may be able to help you out there. But apparently, these retention clips need to be. There you go. Wonderful, beautiful. See how frail that cable is? So you really have to be careful around there. And then with that, it looks like this unit just flips up and out. So beautiful. There you go. Same thing back here. This is just the pressure mounted. Now or pressure retained. I'm just going to mark this off. Okay, now comes the tricky part. We're going to remove this cabling. Without tearing it. Looks like you can just get some little bit of leverage. Pressing up your fingernails against the hard metal of the disc, and that is out. Thank you very much. Now, let me try reinserting the cable into the Openflops first. Remove the screen transit protection plastic. And this makes me darned nervous. That looks like it was evenly inserted, so that's good. Now, ironically, I think that the perler bleeds may be a bit too thick for this. Okay, let's just keep this up here. Because if I put it in there, you basically want to clear these chips. I prefer no pressure on these chips, so you don't really need anything that thick. It could be half this thickness. So maybe I'll take a blade and try and cut this perler bead in half. That would take pressure off the chips and be a bit of a spacer. So let me grab a knife and do that. So using just a clipper, I mean, perler beads are very soft apparently. So I was able to cut it not exactly in half, but at least I cut it. The edges are a bit frayed, but that's okay because all we need to do is to use these and see if they can be taller than the components. And I don't think you can see it from that angle. Let me see if I can lower it down for you. But that is actually higher than all the components. Now let's take a look at the other one. Again, higher than all the components, especially the chips. So this is a really good way of creating your spacers. Now it'll be a little bit uneven. You could sand it down if you want, but I really don't think it matters. So let's give this a try. I was able to break that screw there with the linear blade. I keep on forgetting, is it the float set? It doesn't really matter. So we have 1, 2. Let's see how it compares, because now that I look at it, these screw sizes actually seem about the same. Oh, and I have to put the little, what I call standoffs here and here. That'll ensure that there's no actual pressure there. For whatever reason, it couldn't focus that well before. Looks like it's focused now. So I'm adding a magnet to try and keep that in place. Beautiful. Okay, that's one. And those standoffs or perler beads, or you want to call them, seem pretty good. This one, it looks like it's shifted a bit, so that looks good. That looks good. Looks like I need a little bit of pressure as I insert, as I turn, remove magnet. And there you go, I can feel the resistance, it's biting. And there you are, it's a little bit of a standoff, so it looks very well done. It's not going anywhere. And let me just push upon the USB. Yeah, that looks very solid indeed. Final thing is to reinsert this ribbon cable. Just make sure it's all the way up. Should not be hard. Press it down. I don't know if you can see, but once it's pressed down, there's a little white line that's displayed here to make sure that you've got it down far enough. So that's easy peasy installation of Sylvestron's floppy disk adapter. We're now going to reassemble this thing. The only reason I may want a second unit of this, or keep a second unit around is because I worry about the power supply. The caps on the actual device itself look very, how should I say this? They look like they're tantalum solid state caps, so I don't think that they'll fail routinely. However, I don't know what type of caps are inside the power supply. Okay, going back to the reassembly mode. So this one. All right, there. I'm going to back off a bit so you can see the screen as well and my messy workspace. I forget where the power plug is. One of these ones, maybe. Oh, it's a slider. Oh, there you go. Very dim display at this point. But there you go. I don't know if you can tell, but it's already booted into, oh, there you go. Just happens to be the angle. You know what? I'm going to turn off the lights. That should give you some better contrast. It's got 20 megabytes of RAM. It's booting into the floppy already. Even make some floppy-like sounds, I guess. Let's see what's on C drive. It's a 1 gigabyte compact flash. I don't think, oh, I have Windows here. Let's see. Oh, it's because we're in free DOS, so that's not. See how much mem there is. Oh, that doesn't work. And so now we have a properly, and the amazing thing about this is that it allows me to easily transfer files without using the compact flash works as well, but the compact flash does require you to use your USB, and it doesn't boot in case your hard drive fails or anything like that. So this is a wonderful. Once again, shout out to Nick Silvestri. Thank you very, very much for developing this. You have saved a bunch of retro computers from death, and thank you for open sourcing it as well. All right, everyone, have a good day.